guide you through applying trigger settings to the PR-Trans 1000 Transient Pressure Data Logger. In this tutorial, we will be using the 100 PSIG model. Let's get started. Connect the PR-Trans 1000 to your computer using the interface cable, and then open the MadgeTech software. Under the Device menu, select Identify Device and Read Status. Click on the Device Detail tab and then choose Trigger Settings. In the Trigger Settings window, click Change. The MadgeTech software offers two types of trigger modes, window and 2-point. The window mode allows for one range of pressure data to be recorded based on a high and a low set point. The 2-point mode allows for two different ranges of pressure data to be recorded. Each range has its own high and low set points. First, we will review the window mode. Click on the Window Mode radio button, check the Enable High Trigger box, and enter the high trigger point in the allotted field. In this example, we will use 28 pounds per square inch, or PSI, as our high point, and 14.7 PSI as our low point. The number entered may change slightly due to the resolution of the logger. This is not something that can be changed. The high and low trigger settings can also be set using the sliders on the right side of the window. The slider changes in increments reflecting the trigger points available. Check the Enable Low Trigger box and use the low trigger slider to adjust the trigger value. The values available on the slider are dependent upon the resolution of the logger. Since 14.7 is not available, we select 14.8, which is the closest option to our trigger point. In our example, our high point is set at 28.5 psi and our low point is set at 14.8 psi. So the logger will be triggered to record data greater than 28.5 psi and less than 14.8 psi. If you would like the logger to continuously sample until the memory is full, check the Fill Memory on First Trigger checkbox. Otherwise, you can enter the number of readings you would like the data logger to record in the Trigger Sample Count box. Note that the number of samples must be at least 256. Click Save. A window will appear stating that the trigger settings were written successfully. Click OK. Click OK in the Trigger Settings window. The window mode trigger settings have now been applied and the device is ready to be started and deployed. To configure the triggers in 2-point mode, simply click the Trigger Settings button in the Identify Device and Read Status window. Next, click Change and then select 2-point mode. In 2-point mode, you have the option of enabling a high trigger, a low trigger, or both. The high and the low triggers have start and stop set points. Let's use an example in which data needs to be recorded greater than 90.1 psi and stop recording when the pressure returns to normal at 85 psi. We will also record data when the pressure level goes below 9.9 psi and will stop recording when it returns to normal at 11.8 psi. To do this, check the Enable High Trigger box, and then type 90.1 in the Start High Set Point box and 85 in the Stop High Set Point area. The number entered may change slightly due to the resolution of the logger. Then check the Enable Low Trigger box and enter 9.9 in the Start Low Set Point and 11.8 in the Stop Low Set Point areas. Again, because of the resolution of the data logger, the trigger point may change slightly. The sliding scales indicate the two trigger ranges. Click Save. A window will appear stating that the trigger settings were written successfully. Click OK. Click OK in the Trigger Settings window. The 2-point trigger settings have now been applied. For additional support, visit www.madgetech.com or call 603-456-2011.